วัสดีครับก็วันนี้ได้มีโอกาสมาที่หอศิลป์ BCC นะครับชั้น 9 แล้วก็โชคดีมากเราจะได้มีศิลปินนะครับที่มาพูดคุยด้วยก็คือฟรองซาโรชนะครับซึ่งเป็นศิลปินชาวฝรั่งเศสหนึ่งในศิลปินบางกอกอาร์ตเบียนนาเล่ 2020 Hello, François.
Hello, my friend. Nice to see
Great,
you.
great to see you, and thank you so much for being here. As we prepared for this talk, we discussed many things regarding your research and your multidisciplinary process of working, and how you can intricately put all the kinds of disciplines together is something that is most fascinating. Can you tell us your background and how you managed to come to this very complicated way of expressing artworks?
First, I have to apologize because I'm representing my hermaphrodite partner. She authorized me to speak at her place because me, I'm just a white Caucasian French artist or architect, and I'm suspicious myself of my own language, on my own thinking, so I'm speaking on behalf of her. So well, initially, on your question, I was a frustrated mathematician.
Frustrated?
I was a frustrated philosopher, and I found a way in art and architectures, in fact, to resolve this frustration and to articulate different territories of knowledge, different territories of language, different territories of discourse in the crack of this multiple discipline you are talking about. And there's a word which is describing a little bit this pathology, to be in the crack of territories of knowledge, to be between, and to stay between, and to develop something between, is called the synesthesia. The synesthesia is a disease, a pathology, disease, where you confuse your sense. You confuse your perception, your hearing, your smelling, your talking, your brain activity. And because of this kind of pathology, which is a medical pathology, you have to define a kind of a zone, an interzone, which was for me Bangkok, where you could navigate, snake, navigate in this blurry, phantomatic or ghostly environment. But so in fact I use mathematics, I use computation, I use robotics, I use biopolitics. And in architectures or arts, art architectures we could say, or architectures, as Gordon Bataclark is talking about an architecture's process, we define a relation between biology, between empirism, mathematics, where something emerges as an artifact, something coming from science, but not as positivism science of the 19th centuries, Auguste Comte, where we have to predict everything before it's arrived. It's more to use science to lose control, to develop undeterminism, uncertainties, and to discover the result, what we call an artifact, by the process of doing. So if I could say, in art we talk about apparatus. So we are developing apparatus. So it's not exactly interdisciplinary system, because this word is coming from the 70s, you know. It's more the crack of knowledge. In the crack of knowledge between the discipline, and there is somebody which was very important for me in philosophy, it's Jean-François Lyotard, the first to talk about the blur between the territories of power. Mathematics as mathematics, art as art, architectures as architectures. And it's interesting to navigate between, because you could pick up, you could steal some part and recombine the knitting of the knowledge through different environments and different biotopes.
But would this be also a utopian view?
So in fact, utopia for me, it's extremely sensible in terms of using, because it has been re-instrumentalized, it has been redetermined as a collective project we have to share by obligation. In the Utopia of Thomas More, the first Utopia is different. Thomas More, the guy who creates the Utopia island, is totally different. Utopia is in real time. It's another island, it's another parallel universe in real time, which exists on the side, and showing other democratic system of sharing, other system sharing of resource in a parallel. So this parallelism is very interesting because Utopia has been used in the 20th centuries more as a political revenge against, to replace religion by a new religion. So Bangkok was for me, we did 15 production like this about in Thailand, in Bangkok, in the River Kwai, everywhere in Thailand, in fact, with robotic, with workshop sometime. Like for example, we did a library in Makassan, where we were the slum Makassan in Bangkok, where we burned the book. We burned the book to bring the ashes of the book to the citizen of the slum to sniff the book as a place to read the book, and to create through the sniffing of the book the frustration to read perhaps the book.
So now let's talk about your work here, which is a combination of many things, from fortune telling to amnesia to Alzheimer to mushroom to mycelium. This is like absolutely stunning to see this in the context of the gallery. The displacement of the people when they come, they expect to see something in terms of art, aesthetics, but they come to confront something related to science, robot, and mushroom making, which is very, very challenging.
To make mushroom growing in a museum is absurd. It's stupid. Museum is exactly the inverse of a mushroom environment. It's a lot of bacteria, because you bring a lot of bacteria. It's dry, it's cold. So behind this challenge, it's also to use a knowledge which is existing in Thailand. It's called the therapy by mushroom, the phytotherapy. Meaning, for example, we use some typical species of mushroom which is used against or to cure Alzheimer's disease. Okay, we have something from the natures to cure our amnesia, but for what? For which reason? Why we need to recover memories? Why, in which condition we prefer oblivion? Performance of one of my transsexual avatar. So she has what we talk about in Europe, she has a Cassandra symptom. So she has power to see the futures of the past, she has the power to tell you your futures as an oracle, but you will never believe her. You will never believe what she's talking about. So now, in this installation, she don't want to tell you. She don't want to tell you because you don't want to know. So she tells you don't to eat the mushroom. Don't eat the mushroom because you don't want to know. And it's very interesting because it works. Nobody eats the mushroom. The mushroom are good for brain, for brain activity. And it was very interesting for me that nobody wants to eat that. Nobody wants to face or to recover the oblivion, but to stay in this charming situation of ignorance. So first, the design you see here behind me has never been designed. It's a pure computation result. We put the ring on the floor, we put the top points that the structures could reach. The trajectories of the structures has been defined as an empirical system. And each time we calculate, we got another result. We choose one result from the computation, from this losing control, to give this result to craftsman, Thai craftsman, and we got another result too, because Thai craftsmen, they reinvent the reality, they reinvent by making. So there's three types of biology you could find inside. There is on the left side for me and right side for you, we put mycelium with the parasite and the bacteria of the museum. We touch the wall and we touch the mycelium. And you have on the right side the fight between purity, the purity of the mycelium. You know what means purity in the racism attitude. So this ideology of purity, and the parasite which is corrupting this perfect expansion. In the plastic, in the starch plastic, we have a mycelium in their purity. They grow between themselves. No agent, no bad agent are destroying or are perturbating their growing. And you could see this mycelium on the plastic. is popping out, and they are perfectly beautiful, but they dry very quickly. So it's a genocide. But nothing is natural. Nothing is natural. It's a recreation of the farming, of the biology. So 3 types of biology to see how they react. So there's undeterminism, there's uncontrolling is a part of the process to see the artifact as a result we discover. And on the side, the political attitude of the oracle, questioning the knowledge, the oblivion and the amnesia.
And what has been the reaction? You know, you come every day and you see the people come in. They're very quite inquisitive. They're questioning.
It's not directly understandable. I'm sorry, when art is directly understandable, when it's literally understandable, it's extremely boring for me. And it's very interesting to keep the blurriness, which is at the end, during 1 year, 2 years, or never, you could re-question, but what was exactly what I saw? So in fact, the question never finished to flourish in your head. It flourished as a mushroom, the possibility of interpretation, not understanding, personal interpretation. Each time you define something as art, you are far away from art. History defines if you are doing art or not yourself.
Okay, so something else you want to expand or express to?
The pathology, the human pathology, the fears of the futures, meaning the future has been kidnapped. The futures is a retro future. So to redefine this notion of tomorrow, tomorrow now, tomorrow, it's extremely essentially politics. Any critical, direct critical, is immediately instrumentalized to become performative and cynically merchandisable. So meaning, as an artist, we have to define also a position where we destroy our own importance. Is to define the position of critics, both on society and on your own practice, simultaneously. And like Tintoretto. Like Tintoretto in Venice. We need 2 hours more to talk about Tintoretto.
Okay, thank you so much, François.
Thank you,
Apinan,
my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
ครับก็ได้พูดคุยกับศิลปินชาวฝรั่งเศสนะครับคุณฟรองซัวรอชนะครับก็ได้พูดถึงผลงานของเขานะครับอย่างละเอียดทั้งทฤษฎีกระบวนการทำงานนะครับแล้วก็ความท้าทายในการเป็นศิลปินสถาปนิกนักคิดนักปราชญ์นะครับซึ่งคิดว่าได้พูดแล้วมีประโยชน์แล้วก็ให้แรงบันดาลใจกับเราเป็นอย่างยิ่งครับก็ขอบคุณครับ